What's good, everyone? How y'all doing today? I'm sure as you already know at this damn point, my name's Mark. And this video is going to be about my thoughts on the SIG P320 and why I would never buy it. Girl, you got to go somewhere. I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing. You do this every time I start a video. Go lay down somewhere. Sorry about that. But back to what I was saying, the SIG P320. That is what this video is about. My thoughts on it. Would I ever buy it? You know, what's my opinion on all the stories and controversies around it? You know, we're gonna dive right into it. And I'll give y'all my answer on would I buy it at the end of the video. I think that's, you know what, actually no, because I already know what the title's gonna be. Y'all are gonna know the answer. Would I buy it? Never. Never, ever, 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 ever would I buy it. And here's why. All right. Yes. Wow. For example, Taurus had lawsuits on it. They had to recall about 1 million guns. You know, understandable. However, they recalled it, fixed the problem. It hasn't happened since. Hasn't happened. They have actually fixed the problem and made it to where it hasn't happened again. Hell, even Glock had lawsuits. Now, I will say most of the Glock lawsuits, I hate to say it, they were absolute negligence just on the current gun owner's end. You know what I mean? For example, if you're sitting there holstering, if y'all saw my video about the review of the Glock 23, you see the trigger back, you know the chamber's empty, but you always double check. Always, always, always double check. If you're sitting here trying to put this gun in the holster with your finger on the trigger, yeah, you're going to have a discharge. Plain and simple, guys. That's what has happened in a lot of those situations with the Glock lawsuits. But back to the SIG P320. It had a lot of hope. It really did. You know what I mean? The way it looked nice. It, from what I heard, it shot nice, unless it was just shooting by itself. And there's multiple issues with it. All right. So one, we have the issue with it just going off in the holster by itself. All right. This officer that, and keep in mind, when I tell you guys these things, you guys got to understand these lawsuits aren't all done by just civilians or by individual people. Excuse me. I don't know exactly how many of them, but there are over 24 current lawsuits on SIG Sauer for the P320. Plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is the current truth. There are at least 24 out there right now. All right. Some of those aren't even individuals. They are law enforcement agencies. They are entire agencies. You're telling me the whole agency, all these agencies, right? And on top of that, the more than, agencies there are, there's more individuals that have also had this issue. You tell me they're all wrong. Really? Really? Tell me how. And yes, I've actually gotten to an argument with not me, but it was actually me and Adam, because we were hanging out together one day, and I was looking on the podcast channel, and I saw a short that I came across, and I refused to give that person any clout. I will not say his name, but he was showing off his SIG P320. Me and Adam joked around, we're like, yeah, we should comment under there and be like, hey, as long as it doesn't go off, man, or no, it was be careful, that thing might go off by itself, something along those lines. Oh, well, they had that issue fixed, you know what I mean? I've never had that issue, so, okay, cool. If you never had that issue, good for you, dog, right? And then he tried sitting there stating that, he tried stating on another short that our channel, the Centerfire Podcast channel, started a comment thread, which it kind of did, yeah. However, the comment thread, he tried saying that he asked for our sources on when that happened, or when the discharges from the SIG P320 have happened. And he claims we said YouTube. That never happened. Sorry, but that just didn't happen. But we'll get off that topic. All right. The point is, the SIG P320 is an overall shitty purchase. I would never put my money towards that. I have more respect and more value of $1 than that. I'm not going to sit there and buy a gun that is known for going off in holsters, dropping it the wrong way it goes off. Hell, even just sitting there and fucking accidentally bumping it on if you sit there, hit it too hard on the back plate, it'll go off. I'm sorry, and if y'all are wondering what I got with me right now, G2C, Glock 23, got the SD9VE put away, LCP put away for now. girl, you gotta go somewhere. My entire point is I would never, ever, 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 ever purchase one. All right. Now, the controversy around it is honestly kind of funny. You know, you have a lot of people who really, really like SIG. And I'm not talking shit about SIG. They make great ammunition. They make great optics. Hell, they've even made other good guns, just not the P320. All right. And I'm not sitting there just saying, oh, yeah, well, every SIG gun is bad. I just openly said the opposite. All right. So please don't think this is just shitting on all of SIG. No, I'm just shitting on the P320. All right. The controversy around it is that so many people like it. So many people love it. And, you know, I understand why people love it up until, hey, it's gone off in the holster by itself. If you drop it, it can go off. If it gets hit on the back plate, it can go off. Like, what do you mean? How is that something I would, you know, like? That's kind of a huge deal, especially since if I were to carry, I would like to carry appendix, considering that that'd be the most optimal, you know, way to do it. I would know where my gun is at all times. It wouldn't be smaller back carry or side carry where I'd have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Everything like that. So I wouldn't want to sit there and, you know, just get a SIG P320, you know, get a holster, put it in the holster, have one chambered in there, put it on my waist, and bam, my dick's gone. It's not part of my fucking plans, y'all. I hate to break that to you guys. That is not anywhere near as part of my plan. Now, the controversy around it is, as I said before, because so many people like it. You know, it feels good, apparently. As I said before, it apparently, when it's not shooting off by itself, it shoots pretty good. You know, so I can see why, from those aspects, people like it. However, people need to start understanding the safety aspect more than anything. Of the second that starts happening where, oh, the gun's just going to go off, hell the fuck no. It needs to be discontinued. It needs to not happen again. Plain and fucking simple. You know how many guns people sit there and shit on because that can happen? Hell, I even remember this super old Japanese pistol. It's called the Nambu pistol, I believe. All right? That gun had, you know, has a solid history of just going off if you press a certain part of the side, I believe it was, too hard. I can see why the fuck that gun is no longer made. You see what I mean? It's a very similar aspect for the P320. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? And that's just the plain easiest way to end the controversy. Is that, yes, all right, it looked like a cool gun. It had high expectations considering what it was able to do up until the fact that it isn't drop safe. There is no firing pin safety. There's none of that. All right, that is not, you know, something that we can sit there and trust. It's not. I'm sorry, but I would never be able to trust that. I would be scared for my life, you know? Imagine you're sitting there, you're trying to hang out, you know, with all your friends, right? And, you know, you got your P320 on you. You know, you're feeling like a badass, apparently, you know, because you got the gun of the controversy, right? And sure the fuck enough, you're sitting there, everyone's playing Uno even. We'll sit there and make it even easier. All right, you're all at a table playing Uno. Boom! Out of fucking nowhere. Chunk of your leg is gone. Hell, you possibly may have hit one of your major arteries, which means that there's a great chance that the ambulance isn't going to be able to get to you in time. A pretty great chance. That's if you can't stop the bleeding. And there's a lot of blood that comes out of arteries. I can tell you all that for a fact. So that's not exactly on my list of plans of things to do. You know what the hell I'm saying? It's not something I'm like, oh, yep, got to get the P320. No, the second I heard about that shit, I said, nope, can't do. No can do. Not worth my time, not worth my money, not worth my health or safety, not worth the health or safety of everyone else around me who possibly could get hit as well. And that's the thing, is that most people are now starting to, I feel like we're starting to get to some people. When we sit there and we shit on the P320, they start to understand. Look, the best way to explain it is the way Adam said it. About 10% of the time, when we're shitting on the P320, it's just shits and giggles. We're joking. We're having fun, you know what I mean? The other 90% of the time, we're dead fucking serious. Do not buy that gun if you value your own safety. That's the best way to do it. Oh, well, I just want a really good gun that, it won't go off then. Cool, you can go get a Glock. Hell, there are many other guns. Forget about Glock. Let's say you are a Glock hater. I don't get why personally, but fine. Everybody has their own opinions. If you're a Glock hater, you want to get something different, there are plenty of other great guns for you to get. Plain and simple. There's no excuse. There's no justification for buying a SIG P320. There's zero justification. And the people who are sitting there trying to argue that there is one, like, oh yeah, well, it hasn't happened to me yet. Well, cool. I hope it hasn't happened to you yet, and I hope it doesn't happen. But I can't say that everything I've hoped for in my lifetime has happened. You see what I mean? So if it does happen, hell, we just hope that you don't get hurt bad. Plain and simple. But me, Adam, everyone that's involved in Centerfire Podcast, so it's me, Adam, Bree, Milani, fucking hell. Yeah, I even can bring up other people who have nothing to do with the podcast who know about the gun, and they will sit there and be like, yeah, don't fucking do it. All right, we all highly recommend that you do not buy a SIG P320. It's just the best thing that we're trying to tell y'all. You know what I mean? We're not trying to sit here and say that overall the thought of the gun is a bad idea, but it's just the fact that when you sit there and drop it, it can go off. When you sit there, it can just go off in its fucking holster by itself. If you sit there and hit the back plate too hard, you might stand up, right? And bam, just hits it, poof, goes off. You see what I mean? That's not something that I feel like anybody who's trying to buy a gun, especially people who are new to firearms, oh fucking God. Especially if you are new to firearms, especially for everybody, don't get it. But if you're new to firearms and you're considering getting a SIG P320, do not do it. Don't put your safety on the line like that. Because guess what? All it takes is for it to go off once, because it has a current and most recent history of doing that. You could lose your life. You could lose your life. That is a plain, simple matter of fact. Y'all gotta remember, it is a fucking gun. That's not something that I feel you should want to take the risk for. You know what I mean? That's a plain, simple matter of fucking fact. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. As I said before, it was a cool concept. You know what I mean? It looked like a pretty solid gun, all right? From what I heard, it shot amazingly. I've seen videos of people shooting them, and they're just like, yo, this is awesome. I'm in love. You know what I mean? And hell, I get it. I've shot guns before, and I've been like, bro, this is, what? Oh, yeah, let's go. I need that. You know what I mean? But when it has a history like that, no, you can't do that. You're going to be sitting there worried. You're going to be at dinner with your girlfriend or something, at a nice restaurant, worried that your gun's going to fucking go off while you're trying to enjoy dinner. Y'all want to worry about that. That is what your plans for your big night out are. Hell, my fucking plans for the big night out are to have a good time, eat some good food, and go home with my girl. You see what I mean? I don't know if I'm going to be able to 100% say I can do that if I'm carrying a SIG P320. And I understand some of y'all may disagree. Cool, disagree. Do it at your own risk, all right? However, I made the joke, and this is kind of a joke. It's like it's about 20% a joke, but it's 80% serious. That gun violates the rules of firearm safety. How can a gun violate the rules of firearm safety and people still consider going out to buy it? That is what I really need to know. If anybody can have any answers about that for me, legitimate answers, not SIG dick riding answers, then I guess you can comment them. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm not going to delete your comments. However, you're just not going to be able to change my mind on this. I would never want to put my health at risk like that. All right, y'all may want to. I won't. I highly recommend you don't either. All right. So just as a final overview of this, if it wasn't clear enough for y'all, do not buy the SIG P320. I'm not saying SIG is a bad brand. They make great ammunition, they make great optics, they make other great guns. But the P320 is not it. There's a good history of it going off in its holster, getting dropped going off, hitting the back plate going off. Those are too many risks. You can't take that risk. You know what I mean? That's something that you don't want to sit there and worry about. Think about it like this. A cop, all right? I'll include this as a quick part of the overview so y'all can understand. All right? Police officers who have carried the SIG P320, there's been situations where they're just riding around in their car. They obviously have their firearm holstered, all right, because they're driving in their car. Out of nowhere, oh, we got a call. Go ahead and come over to here. He pulls up there, opens his door, and he's moving his leg to get out. Boom! The P320 went off in its fucking holster. And this happened with multiple different agencies. You think they all correspond with each other saying, hey, make sure that we file a lawsuit from the whole, department against SIG Sauer for the P320. You think they do that, guys? I'm going to be real with you. Maybe neighboring counties, but it's not in neighboring counties. They're in counties with a good amount of distance between them. But other than that, that is my complete thoughts. The overview is do not fucking buy it if you care about your health and safety. Something I haven't said yet in this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. And when you hit that bell, hit the all button. You know what? If you're doing all that, fuck it. If you're doing all that, all right, you might as well go ahead and do the same thing for the podcast channel. Do the same thing for Adam's channel too. I'll go ahead and put the ads in the description below so that way y'all can see it. Other than that, y'all make sure to have a good day, good week, good night, whatever the hell it is. And don't buy SIG P320. Peace.